So let's slow this down, cool it down. So we saved the workout onto the IG chat, so it'll always be there when you guys need it. And now let's do the whole stretch as a different component, so we could also save that one too. So we're gonna spend about 15 minutes stretching. Again, if you have to rush off somewhere, always feel free. Just promise me you'll stretch at some point, so we're not super stiff. Just gonna find some different music, slow it down a little bit. No more house, which is great for when you're working out, but now let's slow it down. So like I said, if I'm leading you through any stretches that don't feel comfortable, don't feel like you have to do it. If it's feeling really good, we're gonna stay there. So only when you're ready, we're gonna lay down onto our backs. Thanks, Larissa. Lay down onto our backs, hug the knees in towards our chest, and let's cool off a little bit. So we're gonna really focus on the areas that especially will get tighter from us sitting and laying down all day in our current situation. Only when you're ready, we're gonna lay all the way down onto our backs, hug the knees in towards the chest, and just rock out that lower back in a few small circles. Almost like you're kind of stirring your knees in a circle in one direction, giving yourself a nice little staple massage. Get rid of any kind of that lower back tension. And then nice and big in the opposite direction. Oh, thanks so much for coming, Rebecca. You guys killed it today. And then once that lower back is feeling a little bit better, let the feet find the ground. We're going to take our hands behind our right leg, the right shin. We're going to come down to the ankle. So depending on how flexible we're feeling today, we're going to hold that hamstring stretch. We can keep the left leg bent, or we can straighten it out. Again, whatever feels best, do that. And we're going to hold this stretch, honestly, for 5 deep breaths. As you inhale, feel like you're breathing space in the hips. As you exhale, feel like you could draw the leg a little bit closer. Even if it doesn't go anywhere, I just want you to imagine that you're opening up the back space of that leg. Inhale, breathe here. Use your breath to relax and release any tension from the muscles. Head is heavy, shoulders are relaxed, no big deal here. If it feels nice, we can do some ankle rolls with that right ankle, as if you're sweeping the corners of the room. And then nice and big in the opposite direction. And know that this leg doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It can be as bent as it needs to be for us to access rhythm. Sometimes we think everything has to be straight because that's always what we see. But if it doesn't feel comfortable, it doesn't have to be. Our joints are meant to bend. Now once that's feeling a little bit more lengthened through the back side of the leg, we're going to keep that right leg bent, ankle is flex. We're going to cross over the left thigh, come into that figure 4. We can stay here, but if that doesn't feel like enough, we can interlace our hands behind that left leg and draw the knees in towards the chest. Really breathe space into the outside of that right hip. Take a deep inhale into the back space of the hip, and as you exhale, get a little bit heavier. Shoulders are relaxed, head is heavy. Every time you inhale, think about creating space in the body, and as you exhale, release tension, save the space. Shoulders are out of the ears, the jaw is relaxed, even the skin around the face is soft, there's no tension in the eyebrows. Now once the outside of that hip is feeling a little bit more open, we're going to uncross that right leg, but we're going to keep our knees stacked on top of our hips. We're going to open the arms and nice and wide like an airplane or a T, and then we're going to let those hips fall all the way over to the ground. Even if that means that right shoulder comes up, that's okay. You're thinking about getting it nice and heavy. It's easier to hold your arm up than it is to hold the leg. So let those legs come all the way down. And if it feels nice, look in the opposite direction of those knees. Take a deep inhale to the front of the body, and as you exhale, imagine that right shoulder gets closer towards the ground, really opening up through the front of the chest. One more deep inhale or exhale here, but only when it feels better. You're going to press your hands to the ground, pull the belly button, draw those knees back to center. Now let's let that right foot find the ground. We'll take our hands behind the right leg or hamstring, shins or calves, or you can hold onto that ankle again. If that right leg wants to, you can always straighten out that right leg or keep it bent, whatever feels best. We're gonna hold this for 5 deep breaths. Breathe into the back space of that leg. Inhale like you could breathe in there, and then as you exhale, imagine you could trace that heel along this ceiling, like you could bring it closer towards the body. And like I said, if it feels nice, you can do a couple of ankle rolls. They might not feel like circles, that's perfectly fine, especially on like your non-dominant side. And then a few circles in the opposite direction, like you're sweeping all 4 corners of the room. And then once that's feeling a little bit more open to the back of the hamstring, you get one side tighter than the other, stay there as long as you need. We're going to keep that ankle flex, cross it over the opposite side, make that figure 4, stay there, or interlace your hands behind the opposite leg and draw the knees in. Let your head be supported by the ground beneath you. Again, there's no tension in your jaw. The shoulders are down out of the ears. Inhale into the back space of the body as you exhale. Just let go of any kind of tension. Mental, emotional, physical. Just breathe it out. Can you inhale to draw the legs a little bit closer, and as you exhale, can you let go of that tension? As if that left knee can fall away from the body. One more deep inhale and exhale here, but it feels real nice again. You can stay there as long as you need. Only once that feels a bit easier, we're going to uncross the leg, keep both knees stacked again, arms open nice and wide. This time the knees are going to fall all the way over towards the right, and then we can look off towards the left. Breathe into the twist. And if it's so tempting to hold your breath, I really want you to open up to the front of the chest like you're reaching those left fingertips over to the opposite side of the room. One more deep inhale and exhale here, but only when you're ready. Gently press those hands to the ground, help draw the knees back to center. Give those legs a nice big hug. Really appreciate the body for all the hard work it just did. And then we're gonna rock and roll our way up towards a seated position so we can sweep the feet behind us. We're gonna come into a tabletop position and open up through the chest a little bit more. So you're gonna have your right hand towards the center of your chest, left hand is going to stay on the ground. We're going to take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, you're going to rotate towards the right. Inhale while you're there, and then exhale to come back. We'll do that 2 more times. So slide the right shoulder towards the left, and then back to center. One more with the hand towards the center of the chest. And then we're going to loosen that hand away from the center of the chest. We're going to inhale to sweep that right arm all the way up. And then as you exhale, feel like you're reaching all the way over to the opposite side of the room. And then we'll do that 2 more times. We open up through the front of the body, and then we open up through the back of the body. Last one with this right arm, lift and lengthen, and then try to reach all the way over to the opposite side of the room. Right hand comes back beneath right shoulder, left hand towards the center of the chest. Take a nice deep inhale, we rotate to the left, and then exhale to come back to center. Push energy to the right hand that's on the ground. Squeeze the left shoulder blade on the back. Neck is easy. Now you might rotate a lot more to one side than the other. Perfectly fine. Now loosen that left hand from the center of the chest. Now we're going to inhale. Sweep that left arm all the way up. And as you exhale, reach as if you can touch the opposite side. Inhale to get nice and tall. And then exhale to cross over. One more like this. And then reach all the way over. Now keep those hands stacked underneath their shoulders. Hips and knees are in one long line. Take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, tuck in around, let the head be heavy. And then we untuck the tail, pull the belly button in, glide the shoulders back, open up to the front of the chest. Then we're going to do at least 2 more, if not 3. And I just want you to move through the spine like a wave. Notice how the spine is feeling and moving. If there's any parts along the spine that feel like they need an extra breath, pause, breathe there. You can move from side to side. Fan out the rib cage. Honestly, just articulate through the spine how it feels good, and noticing which areas move really easily, which ones feel a little bit more stuck or stiff. And then we're going to find somewhere in between those 2 extreme actions. We're going to draw our knees nice and wide, scoop the bum towards the heels, come into a child's pose, let the forehead find the ground, and breathe. Feel like you're breathing into the back space of the rib cage. We could breathe space into the inner and outer sides of our hips. You can stay there in the center, but if it feels nice, we're gonna walk our hands up to the right side of the mat and then feel like you're sending the hips to the left. Take a deep inhale like you're breathing only into the left side of the rib cage, like you can expand through each little muscle in between the ribs just by taking a nice deep breath. And then once that side feels nice and lengthened, we're gonna walk our hands through center, hands go to the left side of that, but feel like you're sending the hips to the right. Now get a nice stretch across the right side of the body. Inhale, breathe space into that side. As you exhale, let it go. One more deep inhale here, and then only when you're ready, coming back to center, draw those knees back underneath our hips. We're gonna step that right foot in between our hands. We're gonna lift that chest up off that thigh. I want you to tuck that tail down. Get right into that left hip flexor. So the hips wanna kind of pull back from the stretch, press that left hip forward. Now we can stay here. I want you to reach that left arm up and over. Especially if we're sitting, think that we're always flexed at the hips. We wanna open up through those hips. Especially when we're working out, everything our muscles will get tense because they're tired, and then if we have to sit all day, you're gonna get extra tight. So breathe into the front of that leg. One more deep inhale and exhale here, but again, you can stay there as long as you need. Only when you're ready, we're gonna step that right foot back, left leg in its place. You can lift and lengthen out. Good, if you have a tail, it's pointing down towards the ground. You can stay there with your hands for support, or you're reaching up and over, almost like you're reaching up and over a beach ball. Shoulders are down out of the ears. One more deep inhale and exhale here, but only when it feels right. Place those hands back down to frame the foot. Step the left foot back to meet the right. We're going to tuck both toes under. Press the hands, lift those hips back into a downward facing dog. We're going to bend that left knee, send the right heel down. Maybe shake up that head, yes or no. And then we're going to bend that right knee, send the left heel down. And then pedaling out the feet a little bit. Once those hamstrings feel a little bit more lengthened, you're going to walk the hands towards the feet or the feet towards the hands. And then I want you to bend the knees so much. You can physically just drape your chest on your thighs. We're going to clasp opposite elbows. Let that head hang heavy. Give it a couple of shakes, yes and no. Almost like your head is a heavy bowling ball and all the tension from the upper back is just melting off the back and onto the ground. And then only when it feels like that happens, your hands find the ground, take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, press to the heels, pull the belly button in to restack yourself one vertebrae at a time, but a little bit taller than when you started. Take a nice deep inhale to sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, we'll soften and peel down one more time as evenly as we can. Inhale at the bottom, and then as you exhale for the last time today, restack yourself a little bit taller. Glide the shoulder blades on the back. Crown of the head is the last thing to lengthen up, and then draw those shoulder blades down and back. A couple more shoulder rolls so we can end off our workout just as we started. Nice and tall through the spine, nice and open through our shoulders. And then you ladies are done for your Wednesday night. Hopefully everyone had a good workout, a nice little cool down stretch, and like I said, feeling a little bit better than when we started today. So thank you guys so much for coming and staying and stretching. I'm gonna save this one, so if you ever need a little bit of a stretch, it's always gonna be here for you. Just check it out in that like IGTV area. So thank you guys so much for coming tonight. If you have any questions, please let me know, or if you have any special requests for next week, again, let me know. Thank you guys so much for coming. You guys did awesome as always. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and rest of your week, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. Have a good night, you guys. Bye.